Remember when Vice used to do cool stuff? Like they'd follow like a guy around in the woods, or they'd go to like some Mexican village where everyone eats peyote and shit like that. They used to do cool things. Now they just troll fat people. Yeah, I was watching. What was this? It's basically the saddest YouTube video I've ever seen in my life. And basically, it's this Vice uh, what do you even journalist? Is it journalism? Like, what do you call the guy that that runs a Vice video? Especially this one. It's that guy Ubwe or what? Uba. He's got a weird name. He's British, very condescending. Looks like a character out of Harry Potter. He's got white hair. And basically, I guess he started an app where you can send lookalikes to go do things that you don't want to do. I guess it's like a third party that connects doppelgangers and lazy idiots, you know? So basically, anyway, one of these lazy idiots hits him up, and he's kind of like this. You hate to say it, but this is how they set up the video. I mean, this is like how they describe the guy. He's like this basically losery. He's got male pattern baldness already. He's 28 years old or something. And he wants to send a more attractive and more talented version of himself to his 10-year reunion. So this guy wants to hire like an actor or a model that kind of looks like him enough, I guess. But is just going to make him seem like he did extremely well in the past 10 years from high school. Now let's remember this is a 10-year anniversary, or reunion, whatever. So this guy's already given up on his life at the age of 28 approximately, where he goes, yeah, it's too late for me. All my high school compatriots are going to be so, so well off and set in their way. He was saying like, yeah, all my friends, like all the people, they're just going to have families, and they're going to be, they have careers already, and it's like, I'm still in dental school. And it's like, dude, you're 28. It's like, of course you're still in dental school. Who gives it? I've never had a dentist that was younger than 40. Ever. No one's going to give a shit that, that you didn't speed through dental school and that you don't have your own practice. Like, half of these guys are lucky that they're not on heroin. Probably. Where is he from? He was from, oh yeah, this was so fucking annoying. He's from some tiny town in Maryland, and the stupid British Vice guy, he's like, I'm traveling to Maryland. He kept calling it Maryland.
I'm taking a 9-hour flight with a small camera crew to Columbia, Maryland.
It's like, that's not a British pronunciation of Maryland. Like, if anything, Maryland, like, that's what we would call it. Maryland. That's what they make fun of us for, having stupid accents, right? Like, oh, I live in Maryland. But it's Maryland. And, like, that's how they, like, Worcestershire, Maryland, All right, I don't know. Maybe I'm off on that. But I hated it. The guy just pissed me off. Because he's basically taking advantage of this fat guy. This fat loser. So the guy's already given up. He's 28 years old. He wants to send a hot actor model to his own high school reunion in order to trick people. Like, it's not even clear ever what the objective here is. Like, does he want these people to think it's him and then associate him as being a cool guy in their head? Is he going to help his dental practice? Like, I don't get the point, really. Like, I get not going. You feel like a loser, you don't go. You don't want to see your successful friends or whatever. But why send a decoy? It just comes off as a weird thing to begin with. So anyway, they get this model. He's kind of like a douchey, like, kind of jockey guy, right? He's a little confused about the whole situation, but this is the funny part. The British vice guy, Maryland, makes the model shave like a male pattern baldness into his haircut, like into his head. So like he shaves his whole head, and then shaves male pattern baldness. But nobody's seen this guy in 10 years. The real guy's name is Stephen Fastow, right? So the real Stephen the fat losery guy, no one's seen him in 10 years. So the model doesn't have to. No one knows that he's male pattern balding. Like the model's looking at the camera like, do I really have to do this? Like ruin my career for the next couple weeks while my hair grows back? And then the vice president, of course, is like, yes, you do.
We are going to have to shave your head. Like properly
Just
bald.
Completely bald.
Yeah.
Like shaved.
Yes.
Okay.
Seemed a little pointless to me. So then one of the challenges when he gets there is that the actor has to convince the most popular guy in high school, Jesse, that's the most popular guy, that he is the real Steven, and he has to like ingratiate himself and become friends with him and become popular, as if that's going to somehow make the real Steven, like if anything it's just going to show Steven like, oh, if you were just a more attractive person, you could have been popular. Like if this plan works, right? Or like if you were just more charming like this model, then you could have been friends with all the cool kids. Like what is the lesson here for this guy by sending the model to befriend the cool kids or whatever? By the way, the model looks nothing like the real Steven, obviously. And the real Steven isn't even that unattractive of a guy. He's not like 600 pounds. He's overweight, maybe a little obese. Does have the male pattern baldness, some glasses. He's like kind of like your classic nerdy guy, but it's not like he's not grotesque, or he's not like that much of a loser. He is he's on his way to being a dentist. That's something. That's like a career path, at least, Anyway. So anyway, obviously because the model looks nothing like Steven, everyone figures it out. But they had this plan that the actor, he plays guitar, I guess. So he, even after everyone's figured it out, continues on to do a shirtless guitar solo in front of the whole reunion. And it is the cringiest thing I've ever seen in my life, because all of the people are standing around like, who is this random shirtless guy doing like a shitty guitar solo? It was a shitty guitar solo. I think the actor like lied about playing the guitar. And he told one of the people, the Vice guy made up a backstory for him that he had his own band to make it seem like believable, but they were like semi-successful, like some kind of indie band, but then the actor just goes rogue and he gets into the thing and he's like hitting on one of Steven's classmates who has a boyfriend, is with her, sitting next to her boyfriend. It's hilarious. And the guy tells her that he plays in Maroon 5. Yeah. This girl would not have ever have heard in the past 10 years if that like fat nerdy kid from band was now playing in Maroon 5, an international pop band. But she buys it.
Music's my passion. I went to LA and I invested in Bitcoin.
Bitcoin? Where the hell is he coming up with this?
Have you ever heard of Maroon 5?
Maroon 5?
Yeah, that's the band I play in.
Maybe she just thinks he's hot and doesn't care that he's lying. But she buys that shit, and she's the only person that's enjoying the shirtless guitar solo. And the real Steven, he's back in the van, and he's freaking out because it's so cringy. And he's going, because they're like taping it or whatever, and you can see it on the screens. He goes to the Vice guy. He goes, I don't know, man. Maybe this was a bad idea. Like, is this gonna ruin my reputation? You go, yeah, Steven, it's gonna ruin your reputation, and it should. It was a weird thing to do. Like, if this didn't ruin your reputation among random high school reunion mates, then nothing would. Sending a fake guy to take your place to seem more cool is the weirdest thing you can do. So then Steven goes like, I gotta go in there. He freaks out. The Vice guy's like, what? We're going in there? Like, what? Because his whole objective clearly was just to troll this fat idiot. like Clearly, he doesn't want to see any resolution here. But against the Vice guy's recommendation, Steven goes back in, and all his friends are like, oh, Steven, like, there you are. You know, we knew this guy wasn't you. What the fuck, man? What's going on here? And then they all start talking to him and making friends with him because, you know, he's clearly mentally disturbed that he would send this person in his place to his high school anniversary, or reunion. And for some reason, the Vice guy's wearing one of those, like, foot-high chef's hats, the white gallon hat, and that's never explained. And he takes it off at some point for it's just Vice's shit.